General Hospital spoilers reveal that Rocco accidentally overheard a conversation between Brook and Lois, and what he heard completely changed his perception of his family. Standing in the corner of the house, Rocco hadn't intended to eavesdrop, but every word Brook spoke left him stunned. He heard his mother and grandmother talking about a child, a secret that had been hidden for years. That child was none other than Brook and Dante's child, a sibling Rocco had never known about. This information shocked and confused Rocco. He had always believed that he was Dante's only child, so why was there another child? And more importantly, why didn't Dante know about this? Rocco wasn't good at hiding his emotions, and this secret was too big for him to keep quiet. But then he began to wonder, should he tell Dante the truth? If he did, it could change his father's life forever. But if he stayed silent, he would have to live with the guilt of knowing that Dante was being deceived by the person he trusted the most. He felt an increasing pressure as he thought about it. This story he overheard was not just a family secret, but a truth that could tear everything apart. Things were changing uncontrollably. If Rocco told Dante about this secret child, it could cause a real storm in the lives of Dante, Brook and the entire Quartermain family. But if he chose to remain silent, the secret would stay buried, and who knew what would happen when it was revealed another way. Port Charles was about to witness a big change, and it all depended on Rocco's decision. Would he reveal the truth or keep it hidden to protect the ones he loved? One thing was certain, from the moment Rocco learned the truth, nothing would ever be the same. Rocco had never felt so confused and lost. When he accidentally overheard the conversation between Brook and Lois, he was prepared for a big secret, but what he discovered was beyond anything he had imagined. He had known about Gio, the secret child of Brook and Dante, whom Dante had never known. But now, the truth was even more shocking. Gio wasn't the only child. Another child had been born in secret, a child no one in the family had ever mentioned. Shockwaves spread through Rocco's thoughts. He had always believed he was Dante's only son, the sole heir carrying the Falconeri bloodline. But now, he discovered not only one but two half-siblings he had never known about. This didn't just change the way he viewed his family, it also made him question himself. If Brook had hidden this truth for so many years, what other secrets was he unaware of? Rocco tried to piece the puzzle together. How could Brook have hidden two children from Dante? Who knew about their existence? And what about Dante? Why didn't he realize any of this? The fact that one child had been hidden was a shock, but two children were beyond imagination. It felt like everything around him was collapsing, and he was trapped in a secret too big to keep inside. He didn't know what to do with this information. If he told Dante, would it cause his father pain? Dante had lost Sam, suffered so much already, and now, if he learned he had two children he never knew about, how would he react? But if Rocco stayed silent, could he live with the guilt of knowing his father was being deceived? He understood that such a big secret couldn't stay hidden forever, and once the truth was exposed, it could create a storm that would tear everything apart. As Rocco struggled with his decision, Brook still had no idea that her secret was on the verge of being exposed. She had spent her life keeping this truth hidden to protect the ones she loved. But was it really protection, or was it fear that kept her from facing the consequences of her past decisions? Dante, who had no idea about his children, was still mourning Sam's death. If this truth came out now, would he be able to handle another shock? And more importantly, who were the adoptive parents of the second child? Where was the baby? Could Dante find his child before it was too late? Port Charles was about to witness one of the biggest shocks in its history, a secret that could shake not only the Falconeri family but the Quartermain family as well. As the truth about Brook second child slowly emerged, no one could predict the consequences. Would Rocco have the courage to speak the truth? Would Dante forgive Brook for keeping this secret all these years? And if Dante's two children really existed, where were they? One thing was certain, from this moment on, nothing could stop the storm that was about to hit. Port Charles would never be the same again. The truth about Kai's identity was about to shake Port Charles in a way no one could have anticipated. New evidence had emerged suggesting that Kai was not just a normal adopted child but actually the secret son of Brook, Lynn, and Dante, a secret that had been hidden for years. Everyone had previously believed that Gio was the only child Brook Lynn had kept hidden, but now, as the truth about Kai slowly came to light, everything became even more complicated. If Kai was truly Dante's biological son, it meant that Brook Lynn had kept not one but two children from him. This not only raised questions about her past decisions but also forced everyone involved to face the inevitable consequences. Rocco accidentally learned this truth and was immediately shocked. He had always believed he was Dante's only son, the only one carrying the falconry bloodline in the family. But now, he found out he had not one but two siblings he had never known about. The feeling of being kept in the dark, of being betrayed and losing trust in his family, left Rocco in the midst of an intense inner conflict. He didn't know whether to stay silent or tell Dante the whole truth. If Rocco decided to speak up, it would completely disrupt Dante's life. He had lost Sam, and now, if he discovered he had two children he never knew about, how would he react? Dante had always been a man who valued honesty, and Brook Lynn's betrayal might make him lose all trust in her. Could he forgive her for hiding Gio and Kai's existence for so many years? Or would this be the moment that broke their relationship for good? Brook Lynn, who had spent so long hiding this secret, knew she couldn't keep it hidden forever. But what she hadn't expected was for the truth to come out this way. She had convinced herself that hiding Kai's identity was for his protection, but now, this truth threatened to destroy everything she had worked for. She knew Dante wouldn't easily accept this, and she would have to prepare herself for the storm that was coming. Kai, who had never known his real identity, would likely be shocked and the truth was revealed. He had grown up not knowing who his biological parents were, and now, when he found out the truth, would he be able to accept it? Facing Dante, whom he had never thought of as his father, might leave him confused and disoriented. Would he accept his new family, or would he push them away to protect himself from the pain of abandonment? Port Charles was about to witness one of the most tense family dramas in its history. As the truth about Kai was revealed, no one could predict what would come next. What would Dante do when he found out he had two hidden children? How would Brook Lynn try to make things right? And would Kai accept or reject his real family? One thing was certain, once this secret was exposed, Port Charles would never be the same again. A real storm was coming, and no one would escape its impact. Rocco couldn't keep quiet any longer. The secret he had just uncovered weighed heavily on him, torn between revealing it or keeping it hidden to protect his family. But in the end, the truth could not stay hidden forever. He decided to speak up. And that moment created an unprecedented shockwave in Port Charles. When Rocco revealed that Kai was actually the son of Brook Lynn and Dante, both Lois and Brook Lynn immediately went into a state of panic. Brook Lynn had never considered the possibility of her biggest secret being exposed this way. She had always told herself that she was doing this to protect Kai, to give him a good life, away from the troubles of the Quartermain and Falconry families. But now, with the truth coming out uncontrollably, she didn't know how to face the consequences. Lois, who had once agreed to keep this secret, could no longer hide her anxiety. She knew that once Dante learned the truth, everything would be out of control. Dante was not one to easily forgive deception, especially when it came to his children. If he felt betrayed, both Brook Lynn and even Lois could lose his trust. And then, the inevitable happened. Dante learned the truth. When he faced Brook Lynn, his gaze was no longer filled with love and trust but with disappointment and anger. He couldn't believe that Brook Lynn had kept this secret for all these years, that she had deprived him of the chance to be a father to his own son. Dante had already experienced loss when he lost Sam, and now, he realized he had missed the chance to be there for Kai from the very beginning. Meanwhile, Kai was also caught in the emotional storm. The boy had never known he had a real family in Port Charles, never imagined his biological father was a complete stranger. Being thrust into the center of such a big family secret left him confused, disoriented, and unsure whether to accept or reject these newfound family members. Brook Lynn tried to explain, tried to say she had done all this for Kai's good, but would her excuses be enough for Dante to forgive her? What would happen if Kai felt betrayed and rejected everyone? Lois, even though she wanted to help her daughter, understood that this time, Brook Lynn might have pushed everything too far. Port Charles was in chaos as the truth about Kai exploded. What would Dante do next? Could Brook Lynn save the situation, or would this be the turning point where she lost everything? Would Kai accept his biological father, or would he push them away forever? One thing was certain, from the moment Rocco revealed the truth, nothing could ever go back to how it was. This secret had changed everything, and its consequences would last forever.